Gentleman yields back. With that, we go to the gentleman from Oklahoma. Mr. Lucas, recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary, thank you for appearing before the committee today. I think you would agree that the health and resiliency of the global financial system is tied to the capital levels of global banks. Treasury's core mission is, of course, to provide for a strong economy and to protect the integrity of the financial system. During our discussion when you last appeared before the committee, you largely deferred to the Fed, FDIC, and OCC on the details of the Basel proposal. I've been particularly focused on the negative impact the proposal would have on our capital markets that are critical to the U.S. economy. And I hope this is an area that you also are paying close attention to. We're in a situation where the chairman of the Fed today, during Senate testimony, said he still expects major revisions and would like to reopen the proposal for comment. At the FDIC, the current chairman has announced that he'll resign to restore confidence in the agency, while his replacement is awaiting Senate confirmation hearings. And at the OCC, we have an acting comptroller who's not been confirmed by the Senate. At the very least, given the expected revisions, reopening the proposal for further comment seems reasonable. Secretary Yellen, is it still your stance not to take a public position on the details of the Basel proposal?
I'm not going to take a stand on the details. I think that's up to the banking agencies and the rulemaking process that they'll go through. As you noted, the agencies are planning significant revisions in response to all of the comments that they've received, and I'm certainly supportive of their going through that process and revising as appropriate.
Secretary, I appreciate the position you're in, and given your history at the Fed, you are uniquely positioned to understand the far-reaching impact of the Basel proposal and the potential for unintended consequences. Now, shifting focus, I'd like to discuss the U.S. Treasury market. The global financial system depends on a well-functioning Treasury market, the deepest and most liquid market in the world, where any disruptions could create risk across capital markets. You've heard my concern about the Basel Endgame's impact on the Treasury market, paired with the significant market structure reforms coming from the SEC. You've assured the committee that you're monitoring this along with your interagency counterparts. Given the importance of the Treasury market to the United States and the world, we should ensure robust participation. Undersecretary Lang has suggested that excluding excess reserves held in the Federal Reserve System from the leverage ratio would be effective during times of market distress. The Fed did this in 2020, and it was effective. Secretary Yellen, do you agree that there are beneficial reforms that could increase participation in the U.S. Treasury markets?
Well, that certainly is a reform that was worthy of discussion, and I, at the time, thought it was very appropriate to take that step and would be supportive of greater liquidity in the Treasury market. But again, this is a decision for the banking regulators, but I would hope that they would take this into account.
The U.S. Treasury market is the most important market in the world and the bedrock of the global financial system, and I'd encourage you to support those efforts to boost market liquidity and resilience. One last question. Two pieces of legislation led by myself and Representative Luetkemeyer officially added the Secretary of Agriculture to CFIUS and improved the referral process of the agricultural transactions for review. Could you describe how CFIUS scrutinizes transactions in the ag sector and the relationship with the USDA, if you can?
So for land transactions that occur in the vicinity of military installations that have been identified by the Department of Defense as critical ones, there's scrutiny of transactions, and in some cases, there's even been outright, I think you know that in the Mine 1 case that the president ordered divestment of activities that were going on in the vicinity of a military installation. And yesterday, Treasury issued a notice of proposed rulemaking that follows a comprehensive study by the Department of Defense that adds 50 additional military bases and changes the geographic limitations of others.
Thank you, Secretary, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the effort that you and I put into making this possible.